Hi everyone, welcome to Scarlett's Intuitive Life. Today I'm going to be showing you how we're putting in our summer garden. This is something that we do every year. We usually put it in early spring. Right now it's the beginning of March, and so I think we're a little bit behind, but we've had a lot of cold weather here where I live. We just recently had a freeze. So it is time for our garden. I think we're safe to go ahead and put it in. What we have here is we have some onions that we picked up. This is something that we always plant, and they always grow into big onions. And so here are some tomato plants, some bell pepper plants. You can see the different kinds there on the tags. I go ahead and save the tags and put them on the cages. That way I know what kind of tomatoes I have. We do everything from cherry tomatoes to the big beefsteak tomatoes, all kinds of tomatoes. So we get the plants for these because that is how they grow better. We also do peppers. The peppers we're doing this year are bell peppers and jalapenos. We've done habaneros and other kinds of spicy peppers in the past, but we mostly just use bell peppers and jalapenos. We went ahead and picked up some new hoses. We do water our garden. We live in East Texas and it does get quite hot, and sometimes it doesn't really rain that much, and that's when we'll go ahead and water. But generally we do get quite a bit of rain here where we live, so that helps out a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and go prepare the soil. What we do is we use the same piece of land every year. It's quite a big garden in my opinion. We are a family of 3 and it produces way more than we need. But we do like to use this piece of land. And so what we do is we let the soil kind of rest in the off season. And after winter, we begin to kind of take out any weeds, anything that's not meant to be there, and we start tilling the soil. So we till the soil about 3 or 4 times, and in that process we'll do things like throwing in some cow manure that we get from our cows that we have, and we throw in some bone meal, fertilizer, and all of that. So anyhow, we have our dogs that are out here as well. I just want to show you a little clip of them, but these are our tomato cages. We have these tomato cages we've had every year. We put them behind the garage and they get kind of tangled up, but there they are. We're going to reuse them again. What we do is we also get a big sheet of plastic that we put down for the tomatoes and the peppers. And for that, we just go to the hardware store and pick up a big thing of plastic. We lay it down and we use different weights, which we have some old rotors that we have here, and we've used those. Here's our dogs, Sarah and Blue. They like to guard the garden. And so we're getting ready to put in the tomatoes, peppers, and now we've had the whole garden is tilled. Now we've put in our rows. So for the rows, my husband had made a kind of interesting machine that'll make rows for us that he puts at the end of his tractor, and it creates rows. So we are ready to go ahead and plant. So what we do to plant is for our actual garden, the vegetables and all of that, we use seeds. And so we have gotten various different kinds of seeds that I'll show you in a moment. But if you can look at the garden, it's all ready to be planted. I'm here underneath this little gazebo. It's quite windy today, and I've got my seeds inside this cooler. That way they don't blow away, but I've sorted through them, and I found out I'm going to have to get some more seeds at the end of this. But these are the ones that we use. We use things like radishes. We use yellow squash, zucchini, snow peas. We have pumpkins, sunflower seeds, so many different things that we'll be planting here, and I'll show you all of that. Here we are. You can see we've already gotten some of our garden in. What we have here to the right are the onions in the first 3 rows, and then we have a row of okra. We went ahead and got okra plants, and in the plastic sheeting you can see we've already gotten our tomatoes in. And so we got tomatoes and peppers in there. Here's a little closer up of the okra and the onions. It actually rained really hard the day after we put in our garden, and we are kind of concerned it might have flooded out some of our seeds, but we're not sure yet. The onions lost a little bit of the soil that was covering them up, so that kind of is a little bit of a problem, but we are still hopeful for this summer garden. The plants are a little bit kind of, moved over, as you can see. There's quite a bit of water there still in the plastic. This is the day after, and our back rows get a little bit more water than the front ones. The other thing I'm planting this year are some flowers. I got some topsoil to add to some of the pots that I already have. And so I'm just adding in a little bit more soil to these pots I was using last year. Here's my puppy Fendi just joining me as I'm gardening. I'm going to add in that topsoil, and then I have some zinnia plants, or seeds actually. I'm using seeds this year. Here they are. Zinnias are extremely easy to grow, and they are beautiful, and you can cut them and they regrow. So this is a tried and true kind of flower that I like to kind of put out there. So here are the pots. I filled them with the topsoil, and I went ahead and put my seeds in. I also went ahead and put some topsoil in this planter that I had last year. We actually grew strawberries in there last year, but I'm going to do zinnias this year. I got the seeds all put in there, and so I'm just going to go ahead and water them. With zinnias, you can water them, as soon as the soil gets kind of dry, go ahead and water them. They're very easy and forgiving. So if you're looking for some flowers to plant, zinnias would be the ones, and they're very colorful. All right, so I'm kind of looking around here in my yard, and I want to show you my fig tree. It's already starting to have some growth on it. These fig tree will produce a ton of figs. We have quite a bit of fruit trees on our properties. We have pears, we have plums, we have peaches. And so I will be showing all you that throughout the year. So tune in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. So all of the seeds are in. It rained again a few days later, and it flooded the garden once again. So we will be replanting some of the seeds. The rows are still intact, but we have quite a bit of concern that we have lost some of the seeds. So we're going to replant. This is what the onions look like up close. As you can see some of the brown. That's because our rows got kind of washed out. And so we're hoping that these onions will still be good. I think they will, but they probably won't get as big as last year. Our tomato plants survived. Our pepper plants survived. They're starting to look a little bit better now that the sun has come out, and they're standing up taller. I'll keep showing you this garden on a weekly basis and just showing you how much growth we have, because this garden really does take off and it produces a ton of vegetables for us. So come back and check out the progress on this garden. And here's Fendi just walking around. Isn't she tiny? She's been helping me this whole time. So here are the okra plants. They did survive, and they look like they're doing okay. So that's a good thing. Some of the other rows of plants that we have, they haven't sprouted yet, but we're hopeful that they will sprout in the next few days. They'd got plenty of water. Now they're getting sunshine. This row has cucumbers, and so that's where the cucumbers are at. We got green beans at this one. I'm just showing you the end of the garden here. This is the yellow squash. We have some yellow squash planted there. That is so yummy. We got some zucchini plants. We have more yellow squash. We'll have yellow squash out our ears this summer. And we have more of the zucchinis. We just love those. We got acorn squash, and we actually have a lot of radishes. And in between, we also have pumpkins, which we don't have the little stakes for, but we have pumpkins, we have sunflowers, and we have I think some different kind of squash and the snow peas. So here are some of our sprouts. They're already starting to sprout. And so that, I think, is our, maybe one of the pumpkins. I'm not sure. But comment down below if you know what that is. I forget sometimes how to identify them, but after a while you just know. But here are some dog prints. The dogs have been going in the garden, so we hope that's not going to be a problem. We do have one new dog that has not been around the garden before, so we are hoping to train her and keep her out of the garden. But this is what the garden looks like today. This is everything in, and here are my zinnias. My zinnias have sprouted. Here is that kind of like area that I had the strawberries in last year. We got quite a few that have sprouted there, and they're going to look so pretty. These get really tall as well, so something to keep in mind. And then here they are in the pots. They've sprouted a little bit more on one end than the other on this one, but I think that there's probably still more seeds in there that should sprout. And here are the other pots. These are inside some planters that are kind of decorative. And there's Fendi. Here's some more. Thank you all so much for coming along for this garden. And don't forget to like and subscribe and come back for the updates weekly. Thanks for watching.